All right, welcome back to another video. So you kind of maybe know the drill. First things first, going to go through how much I was able to invest this month. Quick dashboard overview. Look at my portfolio, and then get another quick checkup on the annual goals and investment graphs, and then finally the November dividend income. So this video will be pretty quick. There wasn't anything crazy this month. Obviously, the market has seemed like it's been a little bit more choppy than normal or than the past few months. Kind of seeming to consolidate a little bit here and there. Feel like there's been some decent swings of a few percentage points either way. But it's allowed some other positions like mainly SCHD that has kind of allowed it to start to grow. I think over the past month it's gained about 5%, which is awesome. Obviously it was in the red for a long time, so but maybe there's a little bit of a changing sentiment in the market. Maybe people are kind of moving away from those growth tech heavy stocks and going into something that may be more reliable long term over the next year or so. Who knows what will happen with the market, but yeah, we can dive into that a little bit more later on. So first thing first, looking at my monthly income, expense, and investment page. November was a good month overall for my income. My expenses were a little higher. Black Friday, obviously, is always kind of a classic day to, and Cyber Monday, classic days to buy Christmas gifts or gifts for people around the holiday season, all that fun stuff. So my spending was a little higher in some categories compared to others. But overall, I was able to invest for $4,400. My 401k was completely maxed out. So mainly that was all in my brokerage account, around $3,700. I try to aim around 25% of my monthly income, which obviously I fell behind. Few reasons, obviously, is I maxed out my 401k, so usually I'm contributing a little bit more on that. My income was higher than anticipated, honestly, going into the month from when I started investing into each position as I'm investing over the month. So a little lower than I'd like it, but that might change going into this month, December, to kind of round out the year. Obviously, if some positions don't feel like the right investment, I'm not going to just like invest for no particular reason, but continue investing into ETFs and mutual funds that over the next 30 years are going to continue to grow. So I'll try to get that higher up, more towards 25%, maybe 30% in the month of December. So now to the dashboard. Overall, my portfolio value, this is risen a little bit, but it's at 74,000. I'm recording this on December 3rd. Just work's been busy, so a few days late. Still under that $10,000 portfolio gain, 15% portfolio gain percentage. And the main thing was finally SCHG getting back in the green. Finally getting back into that positive side of things. DGRO and my FXAIX positions, obviously the FXAIX I've had for a long time, for multiple years, so obviously that's going to be in a decent position, but DGRO is also continuing to grow. SCHD finally had one of those months where it's starting to shine a little bit. Looking just briefly at it, my money market fund on Fidelity, that's been kind of dwindling. Maybe it's time for me to reinvest more from my quote unquote emergency fund, which is just my bank account that gets my paychecks. Maybe sending some of that money back over into my money market fund to kind of help boost this going into the end of the year and next year. Obviously, with the continued rate cuts, who knows what's going to happen in December or into next year, but you're starting to get less and less with interest, which I think honestly might make positions like SCHD more appealing to people, considering you're getting that 3.8% dividend yield, all that. So altogether, between my investments in cash, I am at 454,000. Then from there, we'll dive into the portfolio holdings. And so, having looked at this, I think there are going to be just some positions that I get out of, and just kind of call it quits. Target, I don't think that I'm going to continue holding that. Maybe I'll hold it and see if I can get back up to even. But like AWR, I'll probably get rid of in the near future. I think definitely CSGP and Upstart. Those will both probably be going relatively soon, maybe before the end of the year. I'm still trying to decide on the best time, but I mean, I'm just losing money and it's just sitting there for no reason. So probably going to be starting to trim those. Added in this realized gains loss. Actually, let's change that to 11:30. But I'm going to start kind of tracking this when I do sell out of positions. I'll kind of make note of it. One thing that I don't really include in this, I do have a Robinhood account, which has about $12,000 in it. I don't know why I really haven't kept it in there. I kind of consider that more fun money, which I might start kind of documenting a little bit of that in the future once I kind of sell out of positions and have that cash kind of work in maybe a different way, like have some money that can be a little bit more risky, that I kind of, if I lost it, it wouldn't be the end of the world. That's not my goal. I don't want to lose it, but could just be $2,000 or $3,000 and see what happens with it. But that's something that I started selling out of positions, so I'm not tracking that in this realized gains losses area. But I'm up probably around $100, not much at all. But I'm trying to get more comfortable with the idea of selling out of positions, rather than just holding everything. Everything that I've bought, I've held. And that's kind of, again, why I really like positions like SCHD, DGRO, FXAIX, just mutual funds and ETFs that are tried and true, that are just going to hopefully stand the test of time and continue growing and helping my money grow over time. And honestly, the reason why I'm whispering, I'm in a hotel again for work. Don't really want to be screaming about all this stuff. 2025 annual goals. I've hit everything. All my goals that I had laid out for the year. So I'm going to start kind of brainstorming some ideas into 2026, which I'm excited for. I'll try to finalize those in the month of December, so I'm kind of prepared going into 2026. And then I'll just copy paste all of this into my goals history. So that'll happen over the next couple of weeks. One day when I just sit down with this and spend 20 minutes kind of copy pasting everything over and thinking a little bit more about what I want to have as investment goals for the new year. But yeah, happy with where I'm at. Looking at my average monthly expenses, they went up again, end of the year, doing gifts and all that. Had some part in it. And some additional unseen expenses with my car and all that for work. But yeah, probably we'll see this kind of number start to trend more towards the 25 to 3,400 range again in December and January. Overall, this is how much I've been investing month over month. Actually, I need to update this to 39. Boom. So over the past 3 months, my trailing 3-month average investments per month is 6,800. Obviously went down in November. We'll probably see an uptick again in the month of December, especially if there are days that make sense, and go from there. And then my investment graphs. So kind of a little bit of a drop off for the first time. This has all been pretty consistent and gaining a lot of value. Obviously my excitement phase, and now I'm kind of trending into just trying to build a system and stay on top of it month over month. So maybe I'll be kind of aiming more towards a trajectory and slope like this rather than investing even more than what I've been doing previously. But I do love looking at this month over month, seeing how the numbers fluctuate and change, sort of what trajectory I'm on. I say this every month, but it keeps me honest. It keeps me kind of coming back. I like looking at this 30,000 foot view of what's going on in my accounts and go from there. To date, I've gotten $507 worth of dividends. Now, if we were to jump to the dividend calendar, let's update this. I haven't updated anything for December yet, but I'll probably do that. I usually like to update this once or twice a week, so usually every Sunday I do it. But for the month of November, the only dividend I received was from Apple, the consistent 212. In my money market fund, the interest I was paid was $239. So overall, $242 for the month of November. I'm really excited for December coming up because this is, as you can see, that path, the September, June, December sort of time frames. That's when I have my most dividend income. So curious to see how SCHD and DGRO change this month, considering I've continued to invest a significant amount of money into both of those positions over the past couple of months. But yeah, just staying consistent, seeing how this stuff changes. I don't have any sort of monthly payers in my portfolio as of right now. That will maybe change in the future once I've built my positions more and are changing my approach to growth versus dividend yield and all of that. So month of November, just pretty simple month of dividends, nothing too crazy, and that is that. Excited for the end of the year, seeing the December numbers, all of that. Curious if anyone has some suggestions for goals going into 2026. I'd love to hear them. What you think maybe I should invest for the year. Any other goals that you guys might have. Would love to hear any sort of suggestions, feedback, anything like that. So thanks for watching, and hope you guys all have a happy new year, and talk to you guys soon. See you.